Hello everyone, I'm Alex, and I just got done watching the 3-part Netflix documentary series about Piper Rockelle, and it may be one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen put to screen in the entire history of cinema. Piper Rockelle is a YouTuber who is a kid, and still is a kid as of recording this video, and her mum got her and loads of other kids together at ages of like 11 and 12 and turned them into a YouTube group, and there are some really disturbing things that are going on behind the scenes to do with them that were all caused by this mummager, and that's the name of the first episode.
I'm inviting my whole entire squad over today.
She's a multi-millionaire YouTube star, and she's only 15.
And you may be thinking, how does a YouTube child star begin? Well, obviously it's pageants. It always is pageants. If it's an American mum making their kid famous, it's going to be pageants.
Piper was probably 3 years old when she started pageants.
So not only was Piper doing pageants for like 6 years, she started when she was 3 years old. And the whole reason why is because Piper's mom wanted to prove something to her ex about the fact that Piper was of value.
I think Tiffany's drive for Piper's success was to show Piper's dad she was worth something.
Hey, look at this trophy she won. The kid's worth something. I don't really understand what the kind of thought process is there, but I guess, hey, the kid is only worth something if they can win trophies. I mean, I used to have a manager's player award as a kid when I was like in the under-11s football team, so maybe I had value back then, I didn't know it. But it shows that this is ingrained into these children at such a young age. It's like, you have to win, you're going to do these pageants, I'm dragging you along to them. These kids don't even know what they want. They haven't even formed a brain yet. I'm pretty sure you don't get one of those until you're like 7 years old, and they're being paraded around literally for trophies.
She practiced and learned all the dance moves. Piper loved the attention.
And they talk about how Piper loved the attention, but she's a child. I'm sure a 3-year-old is probably having a good time. I mean, those are arguably the best times. You don't know anything and you don't remember most of it. I mean, how much better can that get? You eat cakes and that's about it, and you don't have to like do anything, and you don't have to pay bills. Although in Piper's case, it looks like she was paying the bills. She's been paying the bills since she was like literally 4 years old. Hey, go out there, make some money. You've got a job.
We all filmed videos together that were like challenges.
They're going to have to chug an entire glass of water in just 7 seconds.
But all of this is being orchestrated by Piper's mum, who is called Tiffany Smith, and she is the person who has decided that she's going to absolutely make it her life goal to turn her daughter into an internet celebrity. And they will basically stop at absolutely nothing to make sure that that happens.
Tiffany Smith, Piper's mother, is the momager.
She took these kids to massive viral fame. It seemed so innocent, but it wasn't innocent at all.
The thing is, he says it seems innocent, but I don't think there is a single YouTube family channel that is quote-unquote innocent. I think by default, if you're pointing a camera in a kid's face, it is probably being exploitative in some way, shape, or form, because they are not old enough to start going to work, and they don't know who is going to be on the other end of the black mirror watching it.
This young lady's amassed more than 10 million followers on YouTube, shooting silly videos with her friends. Now some of those former friends and their parents are suing, alleging they were exploited.
After the pageants, after Piper had done that whole scene, she ended up being on Musical.ly, which was an app that was very popular a long time ago. I feel really old because most people now will be going, what is that? Well, it was TikTok originally. Musical.ly was specifically for people dancing. And when I say people, it was for kids. It was for kids. Kids would dance on the app. That was what it was for.
You could create these short, funny videos where you were essentially lip syncing to a sound. This was so popular with children. You're supposed to be 13 to use it.
And the thing that was so strange about it is that kids would get really, really, really popular on there. You had 13-year-olds with 10 million followers. The app was insane. And to have that much connection to that many people unfiltered just on a child's iPhone that they have in their pocket as like a 12-year-old is just so terrifying. So the fact that her mum has pushed her onto these apps and has desperately tried to do it in every single way is just so crazy to me, because surely you know that the risk is insanely high. In the documentary, they're showing the kids watching the content that they were in, but with their family now, and there's a bit where they show a pug on screen called Frank.
It does make me laugh when Frank comes on the screen.
Yeah, Frank was hilarious.
Now, Frank is a very fascinating character that appears in this documentary. Because if you don't know who Frank is in Piper Rockelle lore, that is Piper's mum. pretending to be a pug, but the pug just insults all of the children in the video. And apparently this was a popular thing on the YouTube channel.
Tiffany began to see Piper become successful in pageants. She wanted to go ahead and see what she can do in social media.
And they're so desperate for this to happen that Piper ends up being on a reality TV show, which I could only describe as a horrific ripoff of Dance Moms. It's called Dance Twins. It's twins who dance. I don't even know if she's got a twin. I'd assume that's the whole premise of the show. I'm not going to watch it.
You also see Tiffany for the first time and really get a peek behind her parenting style. You can see that Tiffany is pushing Piper.
This is like a really good time for you to get first place.
And the clip they have from the TV show is just Piper's mum telling her that she has to win. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, by the way, if you don't win, then this is going to be bad. Obviously, you need to win because they're going to kick us off the TV show. You want to be on TV? You better win then.
When Piper was 8 or so, Ashley said to Tiffany, you really need to get her in some kind of school. You know, it's her right to be able to learn. And that was a big fight.
Oh, she didn't send her to school. She just made her do dances. That's not good at all. And they talk about the fact that Piper was like basically forced to become an adult as a kid, which is something that happens to a lot of child actors, young musicians, and people now who unfortunately are opening toys on YouTube channels at 12 years old. And this brings us on to the next part of the documentary, which is a part that disturbed me massively because they used the word kidfluencing. And I think that's two words combined that I think never should be combined ever in the history of the English dictionary or language. Separate them. And this then goes on to something that really weirded me out massively when I saw it, which was that Piper then gets a fake brother purely for YouTube purposes.
Hunter became a character on Piper's channel. He was posed as her brother. Very interesting to us as the family members because we're thinking, what?
But the fake brother is also dating her mum, like off camera in real life. It's very messy.
He was like, yeah, I'm Piper's brother on YouTube. On YouTube, we're siblings.
Hunter was Tiffany's very much younger boyfriend.
So yeah, that's normal. Everything you just saw there, that's ordinary. That's a normal thing. Fake brother for the internet. That's definitely not a strange thing to do. And then also sleeping with the mum. So that's a dynamic. They then have this guy who they interview who's like some form of manager guy. He's like a influencer expert person. And he goes on to describe Piper Rockelle, and I find it absolutely fascinating.
Piper was cuter than a button. Everyone loved her. That just felt so authentic.
Wow, she's an authentic child. Yeah, that's what children sort of are. They're full of energy and they're themselves. They don't have the burdens of the world on them. They don't really have to fake anything. Although, that's the thing. She's probably being forced to because she's being forced to make videos on camera. This is odd. It's just so interesting to see these people describe this stuff as talent because it's just people being filmed. And by the looks of this, somebody being filmed at the age of 10 years old, there's no talent there. People who want to watch that are either kids, and if they're not kids, then they're freaks. And being like, oh, this kid's going to be a star, that's really odd.
Tiffany built a very viable brand on normalcy.
He goes on to describe it as normalcy from a kid's point of view, and I would like to say that everything I've seen so far in this documentary is the complete opposite of normalcy. She has a fake brother who is sleeping with her mum. That's not normal.
We became best friends. I've never really had a best friend before.
Piper then starts making friends in the industry. She ends up doing this show called Manny, which is about a nanny who's a man. YouTube shows really have been at the cutting edge of entertainment since the beginning of time. Nothing will ever come close to the Annoying Orange TV show, though. But then the mum gets involved, and obviously there's beef over the show, and because there's beef over the show, she ends up cutting her friends out of Piper's life.
And that's when Tiffany was essentially mad that another character had gotten more lines than Piper. She pulled Piper off the set, and she was screaming all about the place. You're not gonna cut my daughter from the show. She created this show.
And this is the type of stuff that happens because these kids, their lives are being monetized and they're on shows. Like, they might be filming and forming relationships with the other kids on the shows, but the mums and the people in charge, well, a few of them, mainly Piper's, are causing rifts and fights over money and attention and who gets more lines in a TV show. These kids are probably just having fun, they're probably just enjoying it, but meanwhile the mums are coming in and ruining it for them. And if you thought the fake brother thing was incredibly odd and strange, then get ready for the next bit, because Piper's mum decides that if she wants to take Piper to the next level, if she wants to make her an internet celebrity, her daughter needs a fake boyfriend.
Okay, just go ahead and just tell him. Tell us what? At this point, just say it. Okay. I really like Piper. That doesn't do it. I love Piper. What?
But then when they show the ages of everybody in this group, it absolutely blew my mind. I think the oldest member in the group was 12 years old. That is insane. Like, this is an Avengers for YouTube children. Like, they have just pulled together people who are literal kids and gone, hey, you're vlogging now? And like, there's absolutely no way that that's something that's viable. It's going to put a strain on these people's relationships. It's going to make them compare themselves to each other. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad and it's going to have a bad effect on them. But money.
At one point, we were actually the top 11-year-olds in the world on like famous birthdays and all these different websites.
And then they go on to describe Piper as the top 11-year-old in the world or something. These kids were looking at famous birthdays to see if they were the highest ranking 11-year-old. Like, hey, I'm a competitive 11-year-old and I am #1 in the world for competitive 11-year-olding. I'm doing it better than anybody else. What does that even mean? Why is that even a thing? And that is the thing about famous birthdays. You can go on there and you can just see like where you rank in terms of the level of fame you have. But the thing is, internet people are always so much higher up because internet people look up people on famous birthdays. So it's completely ridiculous and not at all accurate or true. It is an incredibly useful website if you lose your ID. So there's that. So it has one upside. It's a joke, by the way. Don't ever do that. If somebody uses their famous birthdays to get into somewhere, and I've seen it happen, it's a horrible experience for everybody involved. You don't want to be a part of that. But the idea that you could like competitively rank an 11-year-old and that they're keeping an eye on that and they're being like, hey, where are you as an 11? I'm number 5. Oh my God, you're number 3. How do I out 11-year-old this 11-year-old? And the mums will be sat there frantically going, oh my God, we need to sort this out. We need to make sure that my 11-year-old goes up in the rankings. It's like when you're watching footballers being ranked in their prime, but it's like mums doing it with their children. And the thing is, they make Piper do so many different things. Not only is she influencing, is she dancing, pageants, all of those things. She also is a musician, apparently. I mean, I don't know a kid that didn't want to be a musician. I don't know if they would thank you for that when they're like 10 years older and they look at the songs that were made.
We look good, yes we do. I see why they ship me and you.
Okay, that's enough of that. I think we should just ban music forever. It just really does feel like you're watching somebody live through their child being like, I wish I could have done music. I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. And then they just force it upon them. And if you thought this couldn't get like any stranger, they then adopt like over 30 cats for some reason.
And we catch cats there. It's just a lot of fun.
Tiffany and Piper had 2 cats, and we rescued so many that we had 36 cats.
Now look, I love cats. I've got 2 of my own, and I'm very happy with them. But one thing I would say is 36, that's insane. And there's no way that wasn't done for anything other to be filmed. Because guess what? It's been filmed. And if it's been filmed, that means the intention was to post it somewhere. So they're just like adopting cats. And not only is that not great, but there's no way that you could be taking all of them to the vets and you could be looking after all of them. So there's probably some form of neglect in there. And then what gets weirder is they make the kids clean up the mess.
I was cleaning till around like 3 a.m.
Sophie and Piper fell asleep at the top of the stairs, bleaching the walls. I was like, shh, don't tell anyone, just go to bed. And then Piper told on me and I got yelled at.
Yeah, so that's incredibly ordinary stuff, eh? Hey, get bleaching, children. Get bleaching, because I want 36 cats in my house. But then there's a really dark turn where Piper's mum seems to just make the other kids in the videos do really weird and humiliating stuff for the YouTube content. And they play a clip in this documentary, which I'm going to blur out, where she makes the kid lick ice cream off the floor.
What are the odds, Coco, that you would lick that off the floor?
Do you want me to do it?
I mean, I guess I dare you. Oh my gosh, she did it. Piper, you gonna do it?
Like, why are you doing that? Maybe don't make kids lick the floor. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't. Maybe don't make the kids lick the floor. That would be my advice. And then Piper's mum just like tells the kids to be mean to other kids, and the manager bloke tells the kids to be mean to other kids just to like generate drama and interest for the vlog.
Last time.
I always end up in a bathing suit when I'm here.
I need every single one of you.
Just have to be really, really mean to Simone.
We were actually told to be mean to Simone.
Something kind of ugly.
And on top of all of that, she calls her own daughter Piper ugly by pretending to puppeteer a pug.
She's a loser. No, I'm not a loser, Frank.
He would bully you, he would degrade you, he would say things that Tiffany probably couldn't get away with saying.
You're gonna look like crap.
And I'm watching these clips and I'm thinking, that dog looks unhappy. That dog does not look like it's having a good time. But the ending of episode 1 takes a turn which genuinely disturbed me beyond no end, where suddenly she brings in a new boyfriend character for Piper, but it seems like Tiffany Smith, Piper's mum, is deeply interested in this child.
My favorite Gavin!
Tiffany really had like a fascination with Gavin.
Lick it, and we're gonna lick it.
Tiffany would flirt with him. That was very weird. This idea of a boner from looking at me to Gavin. At this time, he's probably 12, 13.
Let me clean that up for you. Let me get that for you.
Yeah, if that doesn't freak you out, then episode 2 gets worse. You may be thinking how, but it does. Well, they go into ship names, and clearly the mum is now like pairing her daughter up with somebody who she's passing comments about, which are insanely inappropriate to pass those comments over children. But then to pair it up with your daughter, it almost makes me think, is she trying to be like, oh, this is, you know, that's who I'd like as a boyfriend? A 12-year-old? There is just no way, with the pageants from 3 years old, the singing and the vlogging, and then the comments about the boyfriends and everything, and getting with a really young man isn't something to do with her trying to reclaim her own youth through her daughter and through this weird kid-fluencing hustle she's got going on. Can't believe I used that term. That term should never be used ever. It should be banned.
There were some occasions where Tiffany was drinking and she just has no filter. She's like, you're gonna be so sexy, like when you're like a little bit older. She forced herself on me. I was shocked.
Yeah, so that was the ending of that episode, by the way. You literally watch Piper try and pull her mum off of making out with like this young person that she's like brought around them for content creation. And this is only episode 1. There are 2 more left. Now, episode 2 is equally as strange. I'm sure you'll be disturbed and disappointed to hear. It's called Crush, because the episode is all about the fact that kids are forced to have crushes in YouTube videos because it gets more views.
Sure, it was awful for her too, you know.
And yes! Kiss! Guess
In
what?
the early days, I thought, that's weird, we shouldn't do that.
So there's all of this content of her trying to like make these kids like fake fall in love on camera, which I don't understand how that could be normal. Like, imagine if you're actually a kid and you have like a crush that you're actually interested in, but instead you gotta like do this weird influencer fake crush thing. It just like would interrupt your life in a way that is so invasive. Oh, sorry. I know that you want to hold my hand at break time, but I can't do that because I'm in a fake internet relationship online that my mum makes me be in. I hope you can understand.
But then we learned quickly and saw that when you have the word crush in the title, the video is going to do a ton better.
It looks so awkward. It's awkward.
And the thing is, you could see, like, the manager boyfriend of the mum bloke, like, setting up shots with these, like, 12-year-olds where they're, like, kissing, and he's like, oh, you gotta do it like this, and he's, like, going full Martin Scorsese. He's like, I want you to move a little bit more to the left, lean in, this is the shot. At what point do you question your job? I would be questioning it pretty quickly, but he seems to be running around as if he's doing like some blockbuster movie.
I love that. When I lick your ear. Yeah. Does that distract you? Frank, if you throw me off, this is gonna be your fault.
Yeah, and then we get the dog back again. And I love when the dog comes back in. It's just Piper's mum being weird with the dog again. Leave the kids alone. Putting yourself in, by the way, like a YouTube series as a dog is one of the strangest things anybody's ever done in terms of like as a way to get attention on the internet. Like, Why would you want to be a dog?
Tiffany really liked Gavin. Like, she would make inside jokes towards him, which were odd.
Hey, Gavin! Can the pastor do nuts? Got him.
Yeah, I don't know what's weird about the clip I just watched there. Is it the D's nuts joke? Or is it, no, to be fair, it's all of it, actually. No, I was going to say, or is it the fact that she's saying it to a kid? But I was like, actually, it's all really strange, isn't it? And she seems to only target these, like, weird, inappropriate jokes at Gavin, who she's shipped with her daughter.
Seriously, you guys, this sucks. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know how I'm gonna eat.
As more and more information started to unravel, I realized how dark of a place it had gone.
No, I did not break up with Piper. No one broke up with anyone. It was my parents who pulled me out of a toxic environment, which I'm super glad they did.
So then what ends up happening is the parents of Gavin end up pulling him out of the Piper Rockelle freak show act that her mum has got running on YouTube. And this means, obviously, that there needs to be a new boyfriend.
And then I got a DM on Instagram, and it was from Piper Rockelle's account. Something about, hey, we're looking for kids to film with. Would you ever be interested in doing YouTube?
The thing is, right, Piper Rockelle's mum is DMing other children, like other children's Instagram's account with the Piper Rockelle account. But that's just Piper's mum scouting children that she wants to pair up with her daughter. It's like arranged marriages for YouTube kids, which is a horrible concept.
Piper and Gavin, they had broken up, and all of a sudden she needed a new crush. And so Tiffany did a casting, and all these boys submitted photos.
And you may think, oh, yeah, all right, she DM'd an account. Does it get any weirder than that? Oh yeah, because then she does like an actual casting session for kids to be in the vlogs and to be the boyfriends of the girls that she's assembled. And I don't even want to know what that process would even be like. Casting for a kid's YouTube vlog channel to be in it as a significant other. And the parents are picking, specifically Piper's mum. What is this world that we are in?
Her having a boyfriend was really important for the views on YouTube.
And you kind of see it too, like, if somebody leaves the squad, they just hire the next person who somewhat looks like them and can play that part.
So the kids start to get together. Apparently some of them form like genuine relationships, which, you know, that's probably the only positive thing that could come from this for them. But then on top of that, it then starts to get weird because as the YouTube content progresses, Piper's mom wants to push these kids to do more and more stuff. And we've already seen her slowly pushing the envelope a bit with the comments she's making towards some of the children as a dog. And then it's the way they command them off camera, and it starts getting stranger and stranger and stranger.
And off camera it was even more sexual. Like, she was asking us when we were gonna do more than kissing, and that really threw Jensen and I off.
What type of a question is that? And even then, I don't even know what that means, but only so much can be shown on YouTube and be monetizable. So what is she even asking these children these questions for? It's so strangely involved. There's mumagering, and then there's whatever this is. It's like a level even above that.
Smile. You can kind of say hi to the camera, flirt with the camera.
All right, and there's that comment that just got made there. And it just makes you think that how did nobody pick up around this, that this was going on? Was it only ever Sophie's presence? Was it only ever Sophie who was sat there filming these kids and being the dog? Were none of the other parents ever involved? Did they not hear about half of this stuff going on? How did this get to this point? I then think there's a part of this that really starts to disturb me, and it's when one of the mums talks about the fact that she is then hired as a stylist for the children, and everything she says after that point makes me feel genuinely sick.
My day-to-day was going to buy clothes. I would buy them cute little tracksuits or matching clothes. Tiffany would get so pissed and be like, Piper is not Sophie, she's sluttier. Get her sluttier clothes, get her sluttier clothes. She needs to show more.
Oh, man. I don't even know how to process what I've just heard. I'm just going to hold this microphone very close to my chest and pretend that none of that was something that I've just seen or heard ever in my ears or out of my eyes or whatever. Like, what even is the direction that you're giving here? And like, why did this go on for as long as it did? Because it seems to have been pretty on the nose what it was for a very long period of time. And there are so many mums involved, and there's so many people involved in this that it just blows your mind. Blows your mind. Blows my mind. And then it gets on to the whole thing where Piper's mum has the kids receive gifts from strangers online. And this is where it takes an incredibly creepy turn, where other creepy people get involved. And this is a whole element of the video that genuinely blows my skull off.
After her 10th birthday, surrounding her were boxes and boxes of gifts. His name was Megan.
I thought Megan was a girl fan for a while until I found out that he was like an older male.
What do you mean he's a man who pretends to be a woman online?
Tiffany said he likes pictures of Piper. He's her stalker. You can get stuff too if you send him pictures. Like, she knew he was a pervert.
Megan's on the phone, and then Piper would go over and be like, "Hi, Megan."
What do you mean you're giving him direct contact with your kids? What do you mean he's allowed to have phone calls with them?
After we dropped Piper off, Tiffany was like, "I have to go to the post office and drop off some things." She pulled out what looked like Piper's underwear, and she told me that old men like to smell them.
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean that you sent them stuff like that? You sent him clothes? What do you mean? Like, this mum really doesn't care. It's like, you're already making so much money. Like, so much, you're minted. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And it's like, no, hey, Piper, I'm selling some of your clothes to a stranger online for like $500. What the hell? You can afford anything he's buying you, but then maybe it just goes in the mum's pocket, because it probably does.
Old men like to smell them.
Old men like to smell them. What a sentence, man. What a sentence that a kid is now aware of. Like, these kids have been opened up to parts of the world that they should never have been opened up to that young. And then you've got the bit where she's just like apparently fully like, oh yeah, no, it's because they're like into it. So yeah, I give them like, and then they give us stuff. And you're like, you should get your kids involved in that. Why doesn't everybody just do this? Why doesn't everybody just do that? And then they show clips from these videos that are just so odd. It's the strangest YouTube channel ever. I'm sure if you just like comb through all of the content on these channels, you would just find stuff in there that is so strange. And that seems to happen with all of these family channels.
I've heard her say several times she did not want to film. She wanted to move back to Georgia.
You've got the kid straight up apparently telling people that she doesn't want to be involved in any of this. And that's sad, because now you see Piper Rockelle, who I guess is potentially free from her mum based on the investigation that's going on right now by the FBI. And she's just carried on making content. I guess that's what she does now. She just does this and like making stuff with the Bob House people, which is probably not appropriate for a minor to be doing. The hamster wheel has begun, and now it won't stop spinning. And yes, that is Katy Perry with Piper Rockelle there, and she is wearing what looks like a Breed Me t-shirt as a 17-year-old. And if that isn't the most disturbing thing Katy Perry has done this week, she then decided she would go to the moon and make everything everybody's problem up there. So, there we go. How cool is that? But not only was the whole thing incredibly inappropriate and the whole thing incredibly weird, but I'm just deeply disturbed by the entire process of this and family channels. And it's something that I think maybe there should be done more where it comes to stopping it. I don't know. Wouldn't that be a good idea? But I don't work at YouTube. But maybe they could do something about that. I don't know. Can they? Will they? Probably not. But when I watch stuff like this, it makes me just so incredibly sad for the fact that these children really have no idea what they're involved in until it ends up in a Netflix documentary. And then at that point, it really is too late.